just parked and I'm gonna crawl into my little bed in a bit and try and get some sleep. But I haven't made one of these check-in videos in a while. How are things going? You know, they're going. I went to this store that I have some of my wearable art stuff at, Iridescent Daydream, in Portland today, and it was really nice to go there. They have a flyer in the window about me and my pay links, and just saying that I'm an artist experiencing houselessness, or housing insecurity or whatever. And it was really just so nice to see that somebody else besides me recognized that I was a human being who needed help. And I mean, I interact with people who believe that online a lot, but I don't, I forgot that I had, that exists in real life also, Those shadows are so crazy. Also, I am really tired. I really do need to get some sleep, but I think it's also those shadows. Just, anyways, let's see. So yeah, it was really nice to go there and to see the crew, my brain is so scattered and traumatized, that I just realized, I could have taken so much of my stuff to the shop and stored it there, or, at least asked, before I, just left it at the apartment, just my art stuff, but I just didn't even think about it, and it's when you're under that much stress, you kind of can't, it's almost it's not, you're not gonna think perfectly right all the time, so, but I was thinking, at least, I might not profit, off of the wearable art that I made, but those pieces still exist. I mean, they probably sent them to Goodwill or something. I mean, I hope they didn't throw them away, you know what I mean, but I don't know if they did or not, but, if they got donated, then at least, those clothes still, the beauty, still exists in the world, and that's fucking cool, I like that idea that there's, that stuff is still, I don't know, I feel like the pieces have a person that they belong to, you know what I mean? And there's a specific person that is going to put on a specific pair of shorts or whatever, and they're going to be like, oh my god, these are my I never felt more myself than when I wear this pair of shorts or whatever, you know what I mean? And I want there's a chance that whatever, those hypothetical shorts can still reach that hypothetical person, and that brings me a lot of comfort, you know what I mean? I like that. And I was talking to one of the other artists there about journaling, and how one thing, I don't journal in the traditional sense, but and kind of my skate videos are a form of journaling for me, I was actually thinking today, but also I do have I like to use the grid composition notebooks that are grid ruled, and I usually, like, for a long time I would get a journal and like never finish it, and it would be like a diary, a journal where you come every day and you sit down and you write, like that's how I felt about the journals, or the planners, that's how I would approach journals and planners. You're supposed to go every day and you're supposed to write. And then I wouldn't go every day and write, and so I would just like give up on the journal or whatever. And so, but then I started just using composition notebooks, and I realized that what happens is I have like 3 or 4 or 5 in rotation, kind of like at any given time, and because I'll start a new one for a specific project, or like idea, or thing that I want to study, you know what I mean, or time, and then I'll use the other ones, not for everything that's not that. Like if I just need to grab something and write it down, or if I just want to doodle, or if I need to think about, make a list, or think about something, or write something down, or blah, 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 like it can, then they, like it will end up being like, well, this notebook is for this, and this notebook is for this, and this notebook is for that. But also they all kind of run like, they will end up being like something like a journal entry in all of them, but they'll all kind of cover a certain period, like a broader period of time, so yeah, I with any thing, with any practice or any endeavor, any routine that we're trying to like establish, it's like I find that it's much easier for me to integrate them and ground them into myself if I accommodate them to me specifically. And one thing that gets in our society that we just take on without really realizing it is that everything is supposed to look, like journaling is supposed to look like one journal that you reach every day. And if you run, you gotta get the gym, bro, every day at 6 a.m. or and not, obviously those are, but I just mean the prescriptive narrow, a kind of approach that gets slapped on basically everything. And if you, like, when we don't do that, perfectly, and then we don't get the perfect outcome or whatever, when we give up on the thing, you know what I mean? And really, a way to, approach it so that you won't give up on it is, one, stop trying to do it perfectly. Stop trying to do anything perfectly ever. That's silliness, first of all, because there really is like perfection, like what even is that anyway? Also make it, don't try to do it perfectly. Don't try to do it like narrowly, you know what I mean? Don't try to do it the way everybody else does it. And try and make it multi beneficial, you know what I mean? It's also a lot easier to do something if you get something else out of it also. You know what I mean? Like if you're trying to, like one of the reasons that I like, skating so much is because it, it's, it does so many things in one thing. It's a really good way to move energy for me. Like I could to like clear my energy, because it's an easy way for me to get into flow state. It's inner child healing for me, because I have always loved dancing and singing and performing in music, and that's always been a way that I like connected to myself, and to like the world around me, and you know, I've always struggled with standing out, you know, like I want to fit in, and I want to be accepted, or I mean, I wanted to fit in and I wanted to be accepted. I really do. I still want to be accepted, just, but not like because I fit in. I want to be like, I want actual, like, acceptance, not fake acceptance. And I'm not willing to settle for anything other than that. And so yeah, I kind of forgot what I was talking about, because I had too many thoughts, and then all the thoughts left. You know what I mean? Like when all the thoughts rush to your head. Uh, I don't know. I'll think of it at a later time, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Because I can't start it. Because if I stop this, then I have to attach another video. Oh, I guess I could just do a part 1 and a part 2, and then I can go back and listen to this and see what I was talking about, and then come back for part 2. Boom shakalaka. Skate videos. Oh, okay. Then why roller skating is multi-pronged in inner child healing and standing out. And now I accept that I stand out. Whereas before, when I was a kid, I tried not to stand out because I didn't realize that it was not, that it, like, I thought it was something I could control. Now I realize, now not only do I realize that it's not something that I can control, like I just kind of do stick out. Like, I just kind of do. Even when I'm not trying to, I do. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just I'm like different. So now I don't fight that. And not only do I not fight that, but I kind of like embrace it, and I try to go as far like into my truest self as possible. And I don't really, like, if people are like, hey, you're standing out, that's not how we do things, that doesn't matter to me really at all. What matters to me is how the thing that there is, what any given thing makes me feel like in my body. Like, that's the thing that drives me now. And skating makes me feel really good in my body. It makes me feel really good about myself in my body. And especially when the feedback I'm getting from like the world around me is like, ew, Liz, you're gross. We hate you. You're dumb. You're bad. You don't do anything right. You're not of value. Go away. Die, die, die. I can look at I can make my skate videos, and I can look at them, and I can be like, well, I mean, I can't be that bad because I sure do look fucking cool on roller skates. Also, having, like, as someone who had like an overactive, overly critical mind, especially in adolescence, I have a lot of trauma around choreography and learning like complex movement, and kind of like reckoning with how low my self-esteem was, and how kind of like hacked my nervous system was when I was a kid, and up until, and long into it, well into adulthood, realizing that has made it a lot easier for me to step into, like, kind of like fully embrace my self as a skater, a dancer, an art, you know, and to invest in, to like find value and put time into investing into healing that relationship to those forms of expression, because and not necessarily like the goal isn't to become a famous roller skater. The goal is to make my inner child really fucking proud and like of themselves too, you know, not of me necessarily, but to be like, bro, like we could always do, to like, you know, like yeah, so that my inner child knows that it was that we could do it the whole time, and we can do it, you know, like we can do anything, and then I won't it, like the more time that I invest in like roller skating and myself as an artist, the more I am telling myself, like my inner child self, like my most abandoned self, that I won't give up on them. And that there is no waste in that investment. Like there is no, like it's not, I can't like that, there's no, that's always a good time. Like that's always a good thing to do, to be doing. And the, yeah. So, it's exercise, yes. It's also alchemy. And it's also, like a way to like relate to the environment, like, you know, skating around town or like skating around my house. You know, it's a way to like dance with life, as opposed to trudging through it. And yeah, yeah. And I find that when I really want to make a habit of something, develop a practice of something, it's always, it's gonna go best if I anchor it into myself authentically as much as I can, in whatever ways that takes on at any time, you know. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was kind of like long-winded and all the way around, but that's okay, you know. I got a weird brain. I live in my car, you know. What do you expect? And I think you kind of get what I mean in a broad sense. If you want to make a habit of something, make it as individualized and easy for you and beneficial for you as possible. Like, if something also, like, because if you're not doing it, there's a reason you're not doing it. And instead of being like, oh, I'm so dumb, or I'm so undisciplined, or I'm so bad, I'm so, ugh, why can't I do this? You know, instead of being like that, be like, I wonder what it is about this. Hold on, because my hat is coming off my head. Like Karen's wig at the, whatever, wherever they were. And that was like season 1 or season 2. Anyways. yeah, instead of being like, I'm just, I'm just a piece of shit because I can't do this thing, be like, what is it about this thing that I need to change so that I can do it, so that I will do it? You know what I mean? You don't bend. Get groovy with it. And get curious with yourself. Get kind and compassionate. And the other part about that is like, stop being a dick to yourself. Like, why are you so dumb, and why do you need to why do you gotta net all the time? You know what I mean? I saw this really cool artist that I just started following on TikTok, and they were like, everybody yell at me until I finish this painting. And I was like, no, I will not, because I bet there's a reason that you're not, doing it, and your body's hella wise. So, you'll get to it when you get to it. And also, you're not gonna you're a special, beautiful, wonderful baby. Talk to yourself like a special, beautiful, wonderful baby. It's more like, special, beautiful, wonderful baby. There's this reason, there's reasons XYZ why I think that we should be finishing this piece right now. And so, I'm wondering, why you aren't feeling like doing that right now, special, wonderful baby. You want to talk to me about that, special, wonderful baby? You want to tell me what you're feeling about finishing this? Because obviously there's something, because our body doesn't seem to be wanting to do it. And also, do, if you are, if there's something that you feel like you want to do, and you just can't get yourself to do that thing, do something else, and then, put that thing by you, and then see if you do it once you start doing the other thing. If you're a creative person, you have to have multiple ways to get into the pool, if that makes sense. And you have to realize that also take into consideration that just because you got into the pool one way yesterday doesn't mean that getting into the pool that same way today is going to work out. It just might not work out anymore, or just might not work out that day. For any number of reasons, you just might not be able to get into the pool that way. Your body might just be like, I know, I used to love the cannonball. I'm not gonna fucking cannonball right now. That's just not gonna happen. I'm gonna slowly take the stairs, or I'm gonna use the ladder thing and immerse myself slowly or whatever. But it's not, you need to have multiple ways to get into the pool, just because part of it is you needing to have choice. So much of our lives is not, you have so little autonomy in any other fucking facet of any facet of your life. And so all things feel like demands once it's, once it's a task, it's a demand. And just recognize that, there's probably a reason you don't want to do it, and that's fucking fine. Do something else. Or don't do that, there's probably, also I find there's a reason. My body knows way more than my brain does. Way more than my brain does, because I'll be like, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. I'll think that I really have to do it. I'll be thinking about how I have to do it, really have to do it, really I have to do this, I have to do this, I really have to do this, I have to do this, I've got to do this, and then I'll do this, and then the result will be like, you didn't have to do that. And my body will be like, I told you, bitch, you didn't have to fucking do that, but you were all fucking like, oh, I'm gonna do that.
Like, there's a reason you don't want to do it. Like, your brain can only, your body senses and so much more than your brain can, and with so much less indoctrination and noise, chatter, so, and on a lot of other different levels too, you know? So, yeah. If you don't want to do it, there's probably a reason you don't want to do it. So, maybe don't do it. Until you want to do it. And sometimes when I'm in that situation and it's something that I need to do, just the process, just me being like, if it's something like I gotta fucking clean the kitchen so that I can meal prep, or like, not when I had a kitchen, but, or like, I gotta do this XYZ so that I can do XYZ, blah blah blah. And then in my head I'm like, okay, well, but I really don't want to do that. And if I say to my, instead of being like, well, you have to, so fucking stop being a fucking dumbass about it. If I'm like, to myself, if I'm like, well, it makes sense that you don't want to do it. You got like so much other stuff that you're always doing. And why, like, it's not fun. It's not cool. You're going to have to do it again. You don't have any help. It feels very like isolating, and the sensory experience of it sucks. And there's like, like your fucking dishwasher, the thing always comes out, and you don't like the, like, and the blah, blah, blah. And like, if I, if I acknowledge that the thing is hard for me and that I shouldn't, like, yeah, babe, of course you don't want to do this. This fucking sucks. I'm sorry that you have to. It's much easier for me to then do the thing than if I approach it from like, get your fucking shit together. It just, like, as and I say that as like on an efficiency level also. I'm not just saying that as like a, like, love and light, babe, only speak positively onto your, or like, like, I'm not, and or like, I'm not, it's or just for the benefit to your emotional world. It also has very real world functional results. Like, you'll find that when you talk to yourself like that, it's much easier to just do the fucking thing. So, who knew? Who knew that kindness and compassion were technologically sound? I did. A Cancer knew. A very watery person knew. A moon baby knew. I knew. I'd be knowing. I know stuff. It's true. Well, on that note, I'm gonna try and get some sleep. I really appreciate y'all being here. I probably just covered up the microphone. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did. I really do appreciate y'all being here with me. And yeah. I feel like I've grown up a lot this month, which is wild to say, because I feel like I'm like always growing, like, can I stop? God. And I don't mean, like, I love, it's not, can I grow through a different kind of methodology, please. Who do I gotta like? What do I gotta do? Who do I gotta talk to? Okay. Yeah. I'm very proud of myself. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I was been thinking about is there's this like the way that we approach learning through traumatic experiences and like having gratitude for the, you know, this like the idea, well, you can't be mad at them because they taught you so much, you know, gotta forgive, gotta like, you know, be grateful for the experience because it taught you so much, you know, you couldn't have become the person that you are without the pain. And I just, that very well, some of like, it very well may be true that I could not have become the person that I am without the pain. But I believe, like, but that's in this reality. Like, that's in, like, that's not, like, I mean, I could have through nurturance. I mean, these are like, if, you know, like, I could have reached this level of development without the pain and the trauma. If I, like, I could have gotten here probably faster. You know, more sharper or whatever, you know, more dynamic or whatever, with like love and care instead of all the trauma. It's in this reality or in this society where, because I was not nurtured, I then had to be broken even further for a part of my like defense mechanisms to like shock awake parts of my operating system that were not brought online by my caregivers. And that like overall, like this, like that distinction, like in my story and in other people's stories, like needs to be made. Like, we've got, like, I don't have to thank anyone for harming me. I don't have to thank anyone for causing me suffering. I need to thank myself for enduring and taking the lesson out of it, because like that, I get like, no, I'm not thanking anyone for bringing darkness to my door. That's not, it just every time, because it's so baked in to the way that we talk about overcoming adversity, you know, and I just like, you know, there could have been no adversity to overcome also, and we could have been investing into each other and ourselves, you know, with as much, you know, fucking fervor as we do, you know, consumerism and capitalism. That is also an option, instead of making people who have to overcome great fucking harm and trauma feel like they have to have a sense of like gratitude towards people who have seriously hurt them so much that their lives were forever, that they were broken and had to put themselves back together. I mean, I can offer indifference, maybe, like, but I'm not, you're not, no, that doesn't even make element, like, explain, like, I don't, like, there's not a lot of indoctrination in there, you guys. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm just saying that smells real indoctrinated into whiteness ideology, patriarchy, and capitalism to me. That forgive people because they taught, like, you know, I gave you those whoopings. I gave you, you know, they made you the person that you are today. I beat your ass so good that, you know, it moved your nose a little bit to the right, and now look at you, or whatever. That's not what happened. Like, that didn't happen to me, but like, you know, that's what we're saying, you know, like, you know, well, they almost took your life, but, you know, they didn't, and now look at you. So say thank you. No. How about y'all say thank you to me? Or how about y'all say, good job, that was fucked up. You know, how about instead of telling people who endure great trauma and harm to, you know, be grateful and about not dying or whatever, you know, how about we say, holy shit, that fucking sucked. I'm so sorry that happened to you. Nobody should have to go through that. And that's just it. I mean, yes, there's like wanting to like hurt someone the same way that they hurt you or whatever, you know what I mean? But if if all you want to do is just live your life and be your individual if all you want to do is just be your individual person, then you don't have to forget, like, you don't have to let go of shit. Fuck them. Fuck that shit. Also, no justice, no peace. Like, what are we talking about? Like, we don't, like, are we forgetting that we live in the United States of America? We really gotta watch our mouths when it comes to, like, forgiveness and acceptance and who we're thanking and for what. Thank yourself. Be grateful to yourself for overcoming what you've overcome. You don't have to be grateful to somebody who hurt you ever. Never, ever, 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 ever. Especially if they did it on purpose. Like, fuck no, that's not good. That's bad tech. That's bad tech. That's bad tech. Okay. Okay, so don't forgive somebody who caused you great harm just because a bunch of people told you that that's what you have to do in order to heal. What do they know? What do they know? If you don't feel like that's what you should do, then don't do that. That's what, I guess that's what, you know, like, it's your, yeah. Nobody around here knows what the fuck they're talking about. So listen to your body, because that's a lot wiser than what's coming out of anybody else's mouth, especially when it comes to you. Okay? Thank you for being here. If you made it this far, what is going on? I will talk to you soon. Thank you for being here. And tomorrow it's so late right now, so I guess I'll say it like tomorrow. Dance your ass off. And if you can't dance your ass off, shake your booty just a little tiny bit, like even a micro shake. And if you can't shake your booty even just a little bit, because that's like that, maybe that's not your thing too. Like, also, if you don't like to dance, that's totally okay. Some people don't like to dance, you know? Whatever physical movement activity that you like. And it doesn't have to be like fucking all out at all either. You know what I mean? You can do so much from like even in bed, you know, and seated also. Just like engaging with your muscles, you know what I mean? Kind of like acknowledging them, checking in on everybody, you know? Hey knees, what's going on over there? How you guys doing? Yeah. Yeah. Just working on that relationship between your body and yourself. It's important. It is. Okay, so thank you for being here for the millionth time. And I'll talk to you soon. Subscribe to my channel because it's super authentic here. And yeah, I mean, there's like, it's real, you know? It's not always like fucking rainbows and, you know, unicorns and shit, but it is always magical, you know? And I think that's like, you know, the thing. Okay. Bye.